G'day guys, heading off today for a bit of a ride. As some of you might have seen, a couple of days ago I came to grief on the putty road, so I'm looking for something a little bit softer to land on today. Heading out to Stockton Beach. I've been to the metro service station at Lovis Lane and picked up my permit. Cost $10 for 3 days, and yeah, considering how much of a Gumby I was when we hit sand at Foster on one of the Ride ADV rides, this could be a bit of an interesting day. So this is the beast I'm riding, DR650 2009 model. When I bought it, it's pretty standard. I haven't done too much to it, but I've added the 20 litre Acibus tank, which has been really good, and also a seat concept seat, which I find pretty comfortable. Giant loop bag, sits on the back there, and it's there most of the time because it carries tools and bits and pieces that I want.
Anyway, so there's a bit of a gravel road that you follow in. It's not too far from the Metro Servo. You try not to get hit by a front end loader as you head in there. The front end loader had been doing work on the entrance here, just over the top of the hill, and so there's a lot of soft sand. A couple of pedestrians on the way. This guy doesn't even bother to look back because he knows how good a rider I am, but just down the hill here there's a group of people walking along the track, and they turned around to have a look at me, and once they saw my style, old mate decided he'd probably give me a bit more room than he first thought. Way off. So it's not just 10 or 15 metres, or, you know, it's not like stepping onto Avoca Beach. There's quite a distance between the end of the gravel and where you make your way out onto the beach proper to get near the surf. And whoa! After the front end loader had been doing his stuff through here, a lot of the sand was really loose. So yeah.
Well, that was all pretty sketchy. I made it down to the beachfront in one piece. Pretty ugly on the way, but anyway, where we've come out onto the beach here, so directly behind me there is the track that we came out on. And if you go south from here, it's the recreational vehicle area. And you're allowed to ride anywhere down the foreshore, but you're also allowed to ride a fair way up into the dunes. So it's a space where conditionally registered motorcycles and off-road gear can go and have a play in the dunes. Anyway, north of here, you've got to stay on the beachfront, so you're not allowed up into the dunes at all. There's Aboriginal middens and vegetation on the dunes that they really want to protect. So yeah, if you come from here, head down towards the south, towards the Cigna Wreck, and that's the way we're going to head now, and hopefully we'll get to the wreck without coming off. guys, we come out onto the beach. I pulled the bike up on some harder packed sand, so the wet sand. Not sure how much of that you'd find if you're out in the Simpson Desert. But as you can see behind me, the beach stretches all the way up to Anna Bay, near Nelson's Bay or Port Stephens. And out in the water behind me is the what's left of the Cigna wreck, which got washed up here yonks ago, and yeah, they were never able to get that part off the beach, so it's been here rusting ever since. I'm sort of taking a mixture of hard packed wet sand down near the beach and then picking my times when I go up into the soft stuff, running in about second gear most of the time, and yeah, so far so good. It's just a big adventure playground in the sand here. Good fun. Guys, one thing I was going to mention, when I pulled up here, I put the side stand down and hopped off the other side of the bike to try and make sure there was no weight on this side of the bike, but it was still on to sink in. So from home, I grabbed just a little piece of plastic, it's obviously a reflector, to put underneath my side stand so that when I pull up, it doesn't want to just keep sinking and sinking and sinking into the sand. You don't actually need too big a piece. It'll probably crack in half and fall over anyway, but just enough to keep it upright. I've stopped in the wet sand obviously, so it's a little bit easier to get going, and if you can stop in wet sand facing downhill, even better. there you go, a bit of a play. Oh, you didn't see what happened just behind the camera. Bugger. Oh well. Yeah, so as I was saying, bring something with a little pad to put down so your bike doesn't fall over. Well, no doubt you can hear me breathing because I'm knackered. Just walked up the big dune there. This is just an absolutely magic spot, and for $10 for 3 days, if you want to have a crack at riding in sand, getting a little bit more comfortable before you do a Simpson crossing or go on a ride that you know has got a lot of sand in it, and yeah, Stockton's not a bad place to do it. There's enough room here to have a crack at the big dune, like the drop off behind us now. I was just trying to get up. I've lost my hat somewhere along the way, so you have to put up with an ugly mug. But yeah, put it on your list to come and have a crack at some time. Definitely easier riding in areas where there's no wheel tracks, but you do get used to the wheel tracks too. So yeah, definitely put it on your list to do.
So I guess, what have I learnt about riding on sand from my day on the beach? Well, mostly that it's not as scary as I'd talked myself into believing. When I first learned to ride, it was on a farm out in the Riverina. At one point around that farm loop, there was a 15-metre section of sand that put the fear of God into me. It was through that sand patch the bike would become possessed by some demon that was dead set out to kill me. I guess I've hung on to that fear ever since. However, after just a couple of hours on the beach, the fear factor is slowly replaced with experience, and you get to feel how the bike does its own thing underneath you. Coming from a four-wheel drive background, when driving on the beach it was always easier to drive in existing wheel tracks. This is because the sand is already packed down and firmer, so the four-wheel drive doesn't have to work so hard. On a bike, however, the wheel tracks tend to pull the bike from side to side, and I found it much easier to sort of slalom across the ruts, similar to how you'd water ski across the wake of a boat. The day didn't go without mishap, as it would turn out. I built up enough confidence that I thought I'll be right just to cut through one section. The soft sand and the wheel ruts finally caught me out. Anyway, so as I was saying, when you ride along the beach, it's like riding anywhere else. Whether you're on a gravel road up in the Wattigans or riding on tar. As you head away from the shoreline, you head up into the softer sand. The bike takes on a bit of a life of its own. If you ride in the wheel tracks, like I am here, the sides of your front wheel tend to bite against the edge of the wheel ruts. It wants to turn you left and right all the time. But here you can see I'm just leaning with my legs on the tank to do really slow cuts backwards, right and left across the wheel tracks, and it actually feels a lot more stable. So if you do get out onto the beach and you come up into the soft stuff, Obviously here we're heading north up towards Anna Bay. I just found it much easier if I leant on the tank to go either left or right, and then just slowly made cuts across the wheelwrights. So there you go. Well guys, this is me back at the exit to Lavis Lane. I spent the day going north. I ended up at Anna Bay, had me fish and chips up there, and then I travelled all the way back south down the beach, and I'm exiting here at Lavis Lane again. On the right hand side you can see the fence line there that comes all the way from the gravel road out to the beach itself. The reason the fence line is there is to indicate that to the right of that fence you're not allowed up in any of the dune area there. On the left hand side where we're riding now, as I said, you're allowed to play up in the dune area away from the water's edge. But the fence line itself serves as a really good landmark, I guess, as you come down the beach, so there's no way that you can miss the turn off to Lavis Lane to do the exit. It's a fair way out from the beach line itself to Lavis Lane car park. And so in the old days when the fence wasn't there, it was a bit tricky, particularly as it was getting dark. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the adventure for the day, and I hope that for anyone who's ever heard about Stockton Beach and wondered what it was like, or has contemplated the idea of either coming for a run down on the beach or maybe getting some practice in before you do a Simpson run or something else that maybe it's taken away a little bit of your fear factor as well, and you might come out and have a play like I did today. Anyway, I'll see you next time. Bye.